Hi, my name is Mark Wiggins, and I want to welcome you to my channel, What Burns My Ass. Welcome back to the channel, What Burns My Ass. This is the channel where I tell you things that burn my ass, and I guess whether or not they burn your ass too. So I'm going to start this video the same way I started all the other videos out there, and that is to complain about how difficult it is to become a content creator, especially on a new channel on YouTube. And recently, I released my last video on to a lot of people on Facebook. A lot of them are Facebook friends, but they're Facebook friends. I don't really know who they are that well. Once in a while, we may send a message back and forth or make a comment on each other's post, but we're not genuinely friends. And some of them just ripped me apart on my videos, just ripped me apart. One of them said, which the one that kind of offended me the most, it says, well, you use basic grammar. You don't sound smart. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I use intellectual grammar? Yes. I have a very good vocabulary in my head. And does it always come out? No. Do I understand it? Yes. Part of the reason I don't use it that much is because I only went to 2 years of community college. And for most of my life, I never hung around a lot of intellectual people. So I never had a reason to always use intellectual words to speak all the time. And the crazy thing is, just because you're smart and you have a good vocabulary and you speak you speak a certain way, or you have a certain dialect, that doesn't mean you're stupid. I mean, I've actually heard African American people with a complete ghetto speech, and I've spoke with them, and they're really smart. They don't, the stereotype of ghetto, you would say, oh, there's no way that person's smart. No way. But in some ways, they're actually smarter than the intellectual people, because they probably have some street smarts that intellectual people will never have. And they have points of view on society that rich and smart, intelligent people that have never been in a ghetto or in the inner city, they will never have that intelligence that those people do. So you say what you will about people that use intellectual language, but it doesn't always mean they're good people. It doesn't mean that they have compassion for other human beings. It doesn't, none of that. It doesn't mean any of that. So I should have taken it to the heart, but I kind of did. And it did offend me. It really did offended me. But I watched it a couple times, and the other critique as I had was this. Well, I do this not because I normally speak like this. I'm doing this because I watched a YouTube video that said that by doing this, you draw the attention to the screen as opposed to somebody just staring into the screen talking to a microphone. And I kind of agree with them. I may have been a little overzealous, so I'm going to try to do it maybe a little less, but I do it. And I don't hate it. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, if it bothers you, as my listeners, go ahead and tell me. The other thing you're going to notice is I'm constantly pushing my glasses back because I have a very expressive face. So if you see a melon with the rock is kicking, my glasses consistently walk down my nose the whole time I'm talking. Drives me insane. It's always been this way as long as I wear glasses. Not much I can do about it. So you're going to constantly see me go push and push and push. It's insane. It's just something I got to deal with. It's part of being me. So anyways, I'm going to get onto the topic about Kamala Harris and immigration and walls and all that. Okay, so my problem with Kamala Harris is not because she's a Democrat. My problem with Kamala Harris is she started her campaign lying from the get-go. I was never named the border czar, and the media went right along with it, as if nobody in this country saw Kamala Harris sitting next to Joe Biden at a table being named the border czar. We just imagined it. And I think the media thinks that if they do the Jedi mind trick, that we're not going to know that we saw it. Like, these are not the droids you were looking for. You're right. These are not the droids I'm looking for. What? Okay, let's get real. We all saw it. She was the border czar. She was terrible at it. She did nothing. And this is why she had one of the lowest ratings as vice president and any other vice president or president in the history of this country. 3 weeks ago, nobody liked her. Now they're putting pictures of her as the Statue of Liberty and Captain America. It's insane. These same people that hated her guts 3 weeks ago have made her a superhero. Are you kidding me? She's still the same word salad moron she was 3 weeks ago. I don't hate her. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate her guts. I don't hate anybody's guts. But she has no qualifications for being president. And I also made the mistake, too, of saying that Ben Shapiro was the governor of Pennsylvania. It's Josh Shapiro. I got to fix that. See, that's the problem with doing videos the way I do it. Unlike other people, they will edit out their mistakes. I try to do my videos from end to end, one take, and I'm going to make mistakes. But at least to me, it comes across as more sincere, and it lets you know that I'm not a pro, and maybe that makes us feel more kinship or friendship or whatever, that I'm not some, stuffed shirt newscaster or commentator or whatever. I'm just a human being like you. Okay. And I'm with the everyday people. I'm not rich. And I don't care if you are. What counts more as you as a person is if you have compassion and feelings for your fellow Americans. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. I mean, that's what happened with COVID. I mean, this is the part that I separate myself from Republicans. A lot of Republicans and conservatives saying, you forced people to get the vaccine and you closed down this and you forced this. Okay, shut up. Just shut up. You people, this is just as bad as believing Kamala Harris is the greatest person to run for president ever. It's that insane. Listen, I made a choice when I got my vaccines. Okay, my weight, my age, my orientation. Is it worth the risk of getting the vaccine and getting COVID and dying? No. So I'm going to take the vaccine. I also chose Moderna over all the other ones because it was supposed to be the one that was most effective. So I weighed all the factors and I made an important decision for myself. I actually had 4 shots. Do I think that everybody should have to take a shot? Yes. Okay, because if you look at Australia, I think they lost not more than 5, 8, 10,000 people max, and a country of over 30 million people. This country lost over 1 million people. That's insane. Well, I'm an American citizen. I'm free, and you can't tell me what to do. How dare you tell me I got to get a shot and save my life and keep my fellow Americans free and safe? Don't make me do that. Come on. Are you kidding me? Let's get real here. What's more important? You missing a few days out in the public or saving the lives of hundreds of thousands of fellow Americans? Come on. See, this is where I prove to you and my channel listeners, I'm an independent thinker. I don't follow the crowd. I don't care what the Republicans say if it's wrong. I don't care if the Democrats say if it's wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't matter who says it. Okay, let's get real about this country. Okay, and here's the thing. So let's get back to immigration. Who believes that Kamala Harris is actually going? She said she's going to crack down on the border recently at one of her rallies. I don't believe her. She's like being a class president that says, I'm going to keep, if you make me class president, I'm going to get the teachers to reduce your homework load every day. Not going to happen. Can't do that. And Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas had 4 years to fix the border. And what did they choose to do? They choose to make it political. They were trying to make it, you believe, and the American public believe, and a lot of people do believe this. Trust me, they all say it on Facebook. The Republicans blocked the border bill, a bipartisan border bill. Okay, first of all, one or two, I think maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people, Republicans might have voted for it and crossed the lines, but most of them didn't. And they're going to say, well, Donald Trump told them not to. Listen, so Joe Biden looks bad. No, not true. The border bill was garbage. It was full of pork and spending that had nothing to do with the border. Okay, and they knew, the Democrats knew if they put that in there, that it would get rejected so they could blame it on the Republicans. It was a ploy. This is the games that these political parties play. Not just Democrats, the Republicans play too. Okay? It's bullshit. Okay? The border bill was garbage. First of all, it allowed over, I think, 500,000 to 800,000 unvetted immigrants over the border a day, not including the gotaways. And you call that a border bill? Plus, you could have given Alejandro Mayorkas all the money in the world to run the border with. And all he would have done is take the border agents and turn them into concierges and have them pass out smartphones and airplane tickets and bus tickets to places all over the country. And they're especially going to sanctuary cities, not because they want to feel safe. They're being put there because, okay, a new revelation, and I just heard this recently. Okay, Minnesota, Walz, as the governor, gave immigrants driver's licenses. And when it comes to this election this November, in order to vote, all you have to do is show an ID. And guess what they're going to show? They're going to show their driver's license. And you think they're going to check whether or not driver's license is to somebody who is an American citizen or not? Or they're just going to say, oh, you got an ID? Here's a ballot. You don't think that that's going to happen? Are you insane? Come on. If this country was honest and our elections were run honestly, yes. I don't believe that they are. Okay? So, and then recently, Congress tried to pass a bill requiring American citizens, in order to vote, you have to be an American citizen. And the Democrats blocked it. And then I think a law was trying to be passed, and Merrick Garland also rejected it. So I got to think that even the liberal people want only Americans to be able to vote, American citizens. I mean, even if you're an immigrant, but you become a naturalized citizen, I'm pretty sure that most Americans want you to be an American citizen to vote. I don't think Kamala Harris cares. I don't think Walz cares. He said that if Trump put up a border wall that was 25 feet, he would start a company to make 30-foot ladders. What does that tell you? And then, like I said on the last video, Kamala Harris has vowed to give illegal immigrants free medical care. Who's paying for that? And I know people, I keep saying this, I don't know how I can make people more believe me, because the last bump in the stock market is identical to the one in 1929 before the big crash. It's identical. And the things that made the market crash back then there were certain numbers. They were, certain statistics. And I'll have to look up the video and post a link in the description. We're double that. We're double those numbers that caused the crash now. And we owe more than almost any other nation in the world. And you want Kamala Harris in charge of the border and in charge of her government, and she has absolutely no experience in economics, market economics, and world economics. Are you kidding me? It's baffling to think that you think that that's a smart idea. It's just baffling to me. It burns my ass that you you can't see beyond, well, she's a pretty black lady and we want her to be president because we're because we're DEI and we're liberal and that makes us feel good about ourselves because we have a black female president. Stupid. Not just insane. I mean, it's nice to want to help minorities, but in a way, sometimes it's insulting to them. I've seen so many black conservative channels that they feel insulted that some of the members of the black community believe that they have to vote for her because she's black. Okay. Also, they're also insulted because Democrats are saying that, well, we can't require voter ID because black people don't have IDs. And I've watched black people go, "Are you effing shit me? Really? I have an ID just like everybody else. I'm an American citizen. Why wouldn't I have an ID? Just because I'm black, I don't have an ID? Are you kidding?" And I'm with them. I get that. I'm Portuguese. If you said, "Oh, Portuguese can't afford to get IDs," I'd be like, "F you. I'm Portuguese and I got an ID. I've had one since I was a teenager." Who doesn't have IDs? Come on. I mean, this nonsense just has to stop. We have to come to the world of reality. It's tiring to listen to this crap constantly in our country. And the arguments are just insane and juvenile. I mean, when are people after 18 years old? You should be grown up. You should start thinking maturely and thinking, in a logical manner, not just wishful thinking and ideals and lands like my last video. This isn't the world of Harry Potter. Okay, it doesn't exist. And Kamala Harris is not Captain America like those memes I keep saying. She's not. Okay, let's be real about what's going on in this country. And that free medical care Kamala Harris wants to give free medical care to 11 million immigrants. Okay, here's the problem with insurance in the first place. Okay, and here's the problem with giving free health care. I want to point something out that happened back when the CARES Act first happened that Barack Obama passed. Remember, right after that, there was all these commercials all over TV saying, "Oh, you need this back brace and you need this knee brace, and we're going to provide it free. Just put it on your Medicare card, and we'll get it to you right away. And your life will be better because you have a back brace and a knee brace you don't need." And 90% of them went to people who were just bored and mailed it or phoned it, ordered it, and it went under the couch or went in a closet, never touched, still in the package. That's the problem with having national health care, because people waste. You can give them all the stuff for free, but see, that makes them not value it as much. It's just as bad on the other side with private insurance. Because here's the problem with insurance, right? Look at the cost of medical care, okay? Most insurances don't necessarily require you to go to the cheapest hospital or go to the cheapest doctor or get the cheapest medication or get generics or whatever. They don't require you to do any of that. So what that does is like bell curve grading. It skews the bell curve. It makes it, instead of being a nice sloping mound, it's this high curve mound. And so the distance between the top and the bottom is enormous. So this is just hyperbole, but you could buy a certain, I don't know, not Maalox. That's not even. I'm trying to think. For some reason, I can't think of a prescription drug. Anyway, you could buy a prescription drug at Walmart for $20, and then turn around and go over to Walgreens, and that same medication is $80. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, and because that skews the prices and everything. It even did it now in veterinary bills. My niece recently spent $4,400 to save her dog's life. They had to take the dog's leg. And then within, 6-8 months, the dog was dead. And she still has all this debt. Okay? We're being blackmailed as pet owners to own a pet. That is what's crushing this country. Not just inflation, but the fact that the American public is being nickeled and dimed to death for everything. everything. Veterinary bills, doctor's bills, utilities, rent. And now with the Joe Bidenomics, the food inflation and the prices of everything else has gone through the roof. And they can try to fool you right now that the economy is not doing that bad. It's on the border of collapse. Take my word for it. There is, just go on YouTube and look at the experts. Don't take my word. There's some economic experts that do this for a living. Warren Buffett, I posted it on Facebook. If Warren Buffett cannot convince you that the market's going to crash, who is? Who is? America, please, we got to wake up. And I don't want to sound like a broken record on every video. But how else do you express this? We have to get our act together, and we have to be realistic about what is going on in our country and the economic standing of our country in the world. And if BRICS works out to where they bump the American dollar away from being the world reserve currency, if you think $5 and $7 worth of a gallon is expensive, you haven't seen anything yet. You think $2 and $3 gallons of milk is outrageous? Wait till that happens. I'm not trying to scare I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody. I'm just stating facts. And if people don't like them, they get insultive. But facts are facts. You know, it's like watching somebody sitting on a railroad track and the train is coming and the horn is blowing and you can't talk them into the fact that the train is coming, and if you don't get off, you're dead. And you shout and scream, and the person's sitting there like, yeah, right, whatever. That's what this feels like. I swear to God, that's what this feels like to me. And people don't get it. And they call me names and they belittle me because I believe these things. I would vote for Kamala Harris if she had a plan that made sense. She made me believe that she had some intelligence in market economies, told me what she was going to do in case the American dollar crashes, and she convinced me that she had a wonderful plan to curb all that stuff. I'd be all over it. I would. And I'd vote for her and Walz. Walz seems like a nice guy. I don't like a lot of his stances on things. I don't believe in giving immigrants driver's license because that validates them being here illegally. But he seems like a genuinely nice guy. I have to be honest. Even as a conservative, I'm honest. Okay? We can't have this going on in our country, people. You have to be realistic. And who you put in office can make all the difference in the world. And people don't get it. They don't get it. I don't know how to convince people except for this. This is me doing my part for the American people to see if I can just convince enough people. Maybe one of my videos will go viral. I hope. I'd love it to be. I volunteered to die for this country. I'm a vet. I was in, I was in the military during the original Desert Storm. I was in Germany when the wall came down. I have a piece of the Berlin Wall this big. It was one of the most wonderful times of my life to be in Germany when it reunified. It was wonderful. Okay. And I volunteered for the original Desert Storm, the one with WH. I didn't end up going only simply because the wall had come down and they weren't taking volunteers out of Germany at the time. They were taking it from all over the other parts of the world, but not Germany because of the reunification. And then I almost re-upped and volunteered to go directly to Desert Storm. And I said, nah, and I went home. And then I was in a reserve unit, and Don't Ask, Don't Tell had just came out. But yet they were kicking more people out with that than they weren't. So I said, I better get out while I still can with my honorable discharge. And I did. Had that not been the case, I loved Germany. I loved being in the military. I loved my life then. I enjoyed myself as a soldier. I had no problem being a soldier. But anyways, that's the past. And this is now. So, my goal for this video is for you to understand what is at stake in this next election. Okay. It, if like I said in my last, if we could make a stink and get all new candidates, I'd be the first one with my hand up. First one. I'd be like, yes, 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 yes. Let's get all new candidates. Do that. But yet, because I'm sticking up for Donald Trump and I'm dispelling the lies about him, I'm a Trump tard or I'm brainwashed or no, it's none of that. I just know who has a chance of keeping this country afloat in the next 4 years and who doesn't. And he's just the lesser of two evils for me. And I hope you can understand that. Just do. All right. That's what burns my ass. And I think it will burn your ass too, that if this country goes under and there's a revolution that ends this country, there's no turning back. And I love my country. That's why I volunteered to die for it. And unfortunately, right now, I think we're on the border of losing our country. It scares me a lot. I'm getting a little emotional, but it's true. That's what burns my ass. Please continue to watch.